What it do?
What's up, y'all? This is my review for Netflix's Self-Made Episode 2, starring Octavia Spencer and Blair, fine as wine, Underwood. There are some people that ain't never been fine a day in their life, but he is fine every single day of his. I don't know what kind of chicken bones he's cooking up, but that's some voodoo. And did y'all see him when he took off that shirt? Oh my God, my husband was like, "Why are your eyes so big?" So like I said in the last one, I'm not going to recap the entire episode. I'm just going to discuss what stood out to me. And again, my review of this is fairly negative. So if you are a stan, you might just go ahead and click off. Throughout the episodes, I just found myself disliking the Madam C.J. Walker character more and more. So that's what I'm here to discuss. So at the beginning of the episode, we see that they're trying to secure funding for the factory, and Madam C.J. has a line about God helps those who help themselves. And towards the end of the episode, I started to get kind of mad that she said that, because we see that John, who is, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'm going to just call her Layla. Layla's husband is helping Addie to try to destroy Madam CJ and her product line. And I sat there and thought to myself, even though Addie is the nemesis, is she really wrong? Because technically, Madam CJ stole her idea, and they gloss over it in the first episode because we see her asking Addie, can she be a sales agent? Once she says no, she decides to go ahead and pack up or not pack up, but she decides to go her own route, so to speak. And the next scene that we see is them pouring a product into a jar. The episode doesn't cover whatsoever how she came up with this product idea, if she had gone to school for it or anything like that. So at least in real life, we know that she did not formulate that product herself. She didn't come up with the initial idea, I should say. I think what she did was she took the idea from the real Addie and just modified it. So the next thing we see is that she's meeting with the black investors, and they're very skeptical about investing into her factory. So she decides that the way for her to make it is to get Booker T. Washington to endorse her. This also didn't sit well with me, because throughout the episode, we see that people have a fairly negative opinion of Booker T. Washington. He's seen and regarded as basically a tap dancer. Like, he is a sellout. And what I didn't like about it is the Madam CJ character was willing to use his name to build her brand, but she didn't respect him and she didn't respect his politics. And that's an issue that is ongoing with this character, is she's willing to use these men for her own gain, but she doesn't respect them. And we see that happen with her and CJ. But back to the Booker T. Washington thing, I really enjoy that storyline because I feel like it's something that's not really discussed heavily, and that is the beef between him and W.E. Du Bois. For those of you who don't know, they were two black leaders within the black community, but they had different strategies. Booker T. Washington was more kind of a go along to get along with the whites. W.E. Du Bois felt like in order to have freedom, we had to take it from the whites. They weren't going to just give it to us. So, you know, people have their own opinions as far as freedom and strategies and progression. Even today, Booker T is still regarded as a sellout by a lot of people. My own professor even said that, and I was like, what? But with that said, her comments towards him made me really question her integrity, because I was like, okay, well, you're willing to use his status and his name, but you don't agree with his practices as far as progression. So you're willing to use him, and I didn't like that about her character. But let's move on. Okay, so the next thing we see is CJ is pitching an idea to Madam CJ in his office. His idea is that they need to expand the brand. They need to expand the brand to be all inclusive. And his idea is that they should put a lighter skinned black woman on a bicycle to kind of mimic what the white advertisers are doing. And Madam does not agree with that. What I want to say about this is, again, I feel like Madam CJ is using the men in her life, especially this one, because CJ became very expendable to her once his male privilege no longer worked for her. We see that she makes it very clear that this is her company, even though she has used his help every step of the way. We also see that she turns very cold towards him once she realizes that he does not really have the pull to get Booker T to meet with her. So like I said, his male privilege could only go so far, and that's when she started to distance herself from the relationship. So in the background, we see that Addie is working with John to outwit Madam C.J. She ends up showing up to the conference that the powerful black men are having, but I think there's a message here that the show wanted to convey to us. And that message is, even though she is able to outshine Madam C.J. in terms of physicality, she also is reduced to eye candy. And I think what the show is trying to do with this is they're trying to equalize light skin and black skin and kind of say we're all black at the end of the day. Now, I don't agree with that, but I guess the point is even though Addie has light skin privileges that have awarded her certain things, she still doesn't have a seat at the table, at the male table. And it really made me think of the light skin, dark skin debate when it comes to the field slave versus the house slave. Is the house slave really better off because they're in the house? If you are being abused and raped and you are in closer proximity to the person who is doing this to you, are you really better off because you're in the house? And I think that is what the show was trying to portray there. Or they may be just trying to encourage women, no matter your shade, to stick together and encourage each other, but I think it's a little deeper than that. On a lighter note, Bill Bellamy looks so adorable in this. Age wears really well on him. He doesn't have a huge role in the series, but I really liked him in this. I thought he did a really great job. But y'all, let's talk about Tiffany Haddish and her limited range as an actress. Ugh, she got on my nerves in this. There was one funny moment, I will give it to her, when she was doing the tap dance on John's grave. That was funny. I don't know why they keep putting her in these movies. And she didn't even have that many serious scenes in this show, but even with that, she just couldn't pull it off. It was almost like she was always on the brink of laughing. And then that baby voice and that baby face that she kept doing, she's like, and I'm gonna go to New York, and then I'm gonna go skip down the street, and I'm gonna go rollerblade, and I'm gonna just live my best life in New York with my new girlfriend. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. But I did enjoy the lesbian subplot. I really wish they would have done more with that. I thought that could have been really powerful. Not with Tiffany in it, but if they had had someone who was a little bit more capable. But I don't know. I do wish that they would have done more with that, because I really like that it was set in that time period, because it was so taboo that having a black lesbian and a girl run off with her woman to a different city. I would have loved for them to explore that a little bit more. Okay, let's wrap up this episode with any other tidbits. The only other things that I noticed that I really enjoyed about this particular episode was when the black women rallied together to help support Madam C.J. I thought that was very important, because we do tend to help each other out. We do tend to save each other and others. And I'm glad that they made the decision to highlight that. Overall, I'd give this episode a B+. Stay tuned for my review for episode 3, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, share your opinions, you all, and subscribe to my channel if you think I'm cool. That was stupid. Whatever. Bye.